Good morning and welcome to the Board of Massage Therapy meeting. We're going to play a short video.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the Raise Hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras.
Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Hawaii State Massage Board meeting. It is now 9:08 a.m. and I would like to call this meeting to order. Okay. To view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You will be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will also be asked for an email address, and you may fill in the field with an entry in an email format. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you would like to testify about that agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier, to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chair, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. For phone access, if you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the Zoom phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you'll be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you'll be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. And when the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering the asterisk and the number 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering the asterisk and 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chair, you may unmute yourself by pressing the asterisk and the number 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter the asterisk and the number 6 again to mute yourself. For both internal and phone access when testifying, you'll be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will be continued on a specified date and time. This information will be provided on the board's website at the link provided on the agenda. That was a little long. And now I will take roll call. Welcome Shannon Skoog, our new board member who's present today. And I see one other person. I don't have that person identified. Is that Sean St. Louis? Great. Okay. So when I call your name, please indicate that you're present and also indicate if you are alone in the space that you are in. Jace Arakaki,
Present and alone.
Darcy Frankel,
Aloha, and I'm alone.
Shannon Skoog,
Hello, hello. I am alone in the room.
okay, Sean St. Louis, I think you have to unmute yourself, Sean.
Thank you. Sorry, I couldn't do that. I'm alone. Thank you.
Okay, great. And myself, Olivia, I am alone. Actually, I have a dog here, so if he starts to bark, I'll kick him out. Okay, looking at our meeting minutes of the open session and executive session. Are there any corrections, additions that need to be made? I found one. First page of the agenda. Sorry. Our visitors. Janisa Johnson should be Janisa Jackson, I believe. Correct
Oh.
me?
Yep,
She's
that's
lis-
correct.
Okay.
Thanks, Olivia.
Okay, and as far as the rest of the open minutes, I'm okay with. Anybody have anything? And the executive session minutes, we can discuss in executive session. Okay. Moving on. Oh,
Can we get a motion, please?
sorry. Motion to approve the open session minutes. Can I get a second, please?
Darcy, I second that.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor indicate yes. Jace Arakaki,
Yes.
Darcy Frankel,
Yes.
Shannon Skoog,
Yes.
and Sean St. Louis.
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind if I just call you by your first name,
Please.
everyone?
That's all right.
Okay, great. Before we go into executive session, do we have anyone that wishes to provide testimony?
Thank you, Chair. This is Johnny. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay, great, thank you.
Olivia, we do have a applicant here.
Okay.
If
We
you
can,
wanna-
we can move our list out of order and we can ask Ms. Jackson to join us first, once we go into executive session.
And we actually do have one more person who just
Okay.
entered the room.
Okay, who's that?
Hello, what is your name? Oh, and we also have Equin Yuan here as
Okay.
well.
Okay,
Okay.
Great.
So let me just inform the applicants like
Sure.
about open session and executive session.
okay,
So right now, let me just explain to both of you at the same time. So right now, we're in open session right now, meaning whatever is said is going to be public information. If you want to discuss your application, in executive session, so those are completely private. Which would you prefer? Executive? Okay. And I'm gonna, LaQuinn, are you okay with waiting till executive session? The board will call you in when they have specific questions. Okay?
okay. At
So
this,
board members, I just informed them the difference and they both wish to wait until executive session.
okay, good. At this time, I'd like to motion to approve the ratification list. Can I get a second, please?
Yeah, this is Darcy. I'll second that. Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, say yes. Jace Arakaki,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and oh my gosh, Sean.
Sean. Yes.
Thank you very much. And at this time, I'd like to motion to go into executive session. It is now 9:16 a.m. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. Yes.
Okay, all in favor, Jace,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Sean.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, Sean, how are you? Sorry,
I'm well.
we missed you in the executive session.
Yeah, how come I didn't get to go in there?
I don't know. Did
I've been
someone
sitting
contact
waiting.
you? Because as far as the executive session, you're given the number to call. If not, an email link was sent by Chiara to join in on the Teams platform.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm unaware of that. I thought that I would just be switched over. I've been sitting waiting to get
Oh,
put in.
sorry that, yeah. So basically in the context of our board meetings, we have open session that's open to the public. Anybody can join in. When we go into executive session, we switch out of the public platform. We go into a secured platform that only the board members and our EO and attorney attend, where
Is
we
that
discuss each applicant. So there's a separate link and a separate number to join in.
Sean,
is
I
it also a
apologize.
Zoom link?
Sean, it's Reese. I apologize for that. We should have, before the next meeting, my secretary Juliet will schedule kind of a Teams training with you. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to do that before. I apologize. We had some staff changes, so I guess in between all of that, we didn't get a chance to connect with you before this meeting. So we'll reach out again after this meeting and help get you set up on Teams for the next one.
Okay, yeah, I had originally intended to attend the meetings in person, but I started new work since the appointment to the board, and I have a work obligation
Yeah,
at this time. So
understood.
actually, I'm sitting outside of work. I had them block me off for this, so I was hoping to just do this meeting, by Zoom, so I could not have them wait for me to drive back from downtown back out here.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I'm sorry
unaware
to
that
hear
there was a
that.
separate link. Sorry, I thought that we all just kind of moved around fluidly with each other.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll have Juliet reach out to you after the meeting.
Okay, so is the meeting now over? Is everything done?
Not
Oh.
yet. No,
So
we still have to vote.
We're in open
Um,
session now, so everybody is back
Can you
to public
participate?
participation.
Okay,
So
so this means that I won't be like weighing in on the cases before the
Um,
board and things like that for today. Is that right?
well, since you're here now, when I bring up the applicant's name, you can recuse yourself since you weren't in on
Can
the
abstain
or
or,
abstain.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I would have preferred to participate, but I understand. I'll do that.
Okay. All right, doing a quick roll call, Jace. I see you.
Present.
Darcy,
Here.
Shannon,
I'm here.
and Sean. Okay, all right. So we're looking at the applications on our agenda. In the matter of Sarah McKibben, the applicant requested an exam waiver and the board had voted to deny her waiver. So she is approved to take the exam. Okay, in the matter of, oh, sorry. All in favor. So my motion is to deny the waiver. All in favor, say yes. Jace Arakaki. Oops.
Yes.
Darcy,
I'll recuse myself on this one.
Shannon,
Yes.
okay? And Sean, since you're here, I still need to take a vote.
Okay, I'll abstain or recuse myself.
Okay, abstain. Thank you. Okay. And Olivia is a yes. Okay, in the matter of Dustin Mesa, the board decision is to deny his exam waiver and deny his CPR because he did not provide sufficient information.
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
Sorry, Darcy. All in favor, Darcy,
Yes.
Jace,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Sean.
I'll abstain.
Thank you. In the matter of Devin Ehrenberg, applicant is requesting an exam waiver request, and the board has decided to defer. He does have a current Oregon, well, not current, but he needs to provide a copy of his current Oregon license since it lapsed in September of 2023. And if he can provide that, then we're giving RESA approval to approve the application. Can I get a second on that motion?
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, say yes. Darcy?
Yes.
Jace?
Yes, but to clarify, it's giving RESA approval to approve the exam waiver request, right?
No, to approve applicant to take the exam.
If he provides current licensure from Oregon, I thought we were giving RESA approval to
We're giving him
approve
the
the
exam
exam.
waiver.
Yeah.
Correct. I'm sorry.
Okay, yes.
That was Jace. Shannon
Yes.
and Sean.
Abstain.
Thank you. In the matter of Shauna Lee Skidmore, the board decided to approve the application. That is my motion. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, say yes. Darcy,
Yes.
Jace,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Sean,
Abstain.
okay, and Olivia is a yes. I'm sorry, keep forgetting myself. In the matter of Janisa Jackson, the board agreed to approve the application. That is the motion on the floor. Can I get a second?
Darcy. I'll second it.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, say yes. Darcy,
Yes.
Jace,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Sean.
Abstain.
Thank you, and Olivia is a yes. In the matter of 123 Spa, actually, it's a different name now. 123 Body and Footwork. Application for a massage establishment license. The board agreed to approve. Can I get a second?
Just for clarification, is that the name that they gave on the application, the new name? Is the same on, okay.
It's not the
Body and
same as
feet.
what's listed here. It should be
Okay.
123 Spa Body and Foot Reflexology, I believe.
2, 3 Body and Feet is a trade name.
Yeah, it's a trade name, but it's the same applicant.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I will second that or approve.
Okay, all in favor, say yes. So Darcy,
Yes.
Jace,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Sean.
Abstain.
Thank you. In the matter of Tamara Schumacher. Okay. The board decided to defer, so the motion is to defer the applicant due to insufficient practical hours of 110. And being that it's over 100 hours, we will be asking the applicant to complete her training in a licensed massage therapy school or an apprenticeship to acquire the insufficient hours. And that is the motion on the floor. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, say yes. Darcy?
Yes.
Jace,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Sean.
Abstain.
Thank you. In the matter of Liquin Yuan, the board decided to deny this applicant and must reapply. That is the motion on the floor. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second.
Olivia, can you state the statutes?
Okay, I'm sorry. So with Miss Yuan, we are denying her application and must reapply. She has violated HRS 452-24A1, 452-24A8, 436B-19-5. Okay, and Darcy, is that a second?
Yes, it's a second.
Thank you. All in favor say yes. Darcy,
Yes.
Jace,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Sean,
Abstain.
thank you. In the matter of Fire Palace, Inc., application for a massage establishment.
One, yeah.
Yeah, so the motion is to approve their application. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. Yes.
And all in favor say yes. Darcy,
Yes.
Jace,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Sean,
Abstain.
and Olivia is a yes. Sorry, if I had forgotten, it's a yes. And the last applicant, Kentaro Ball. The board is denying his application due to violations and under HRS 452-24-3, 436B-19-4, and 436B-19-13. That is the motion on the floor. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, say yes. That's Darcy,
Yes.
Jace,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Sean.
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. And Olivia is a yes. Okay. Moving on to the executive officers report. Do we have any testimony?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay, great. Reese?
Just a quick update on the rules. So I did make those small formatting changes, and I submitted the draft back to the Administrative Services Office. So I'm still waiting to hear back from them. And I also included the massage exam statistics for the past 2 months. You see I believe you see November and December in there.
Yeah.
And that's it for my report. If you have any questions, can always reach out to me.
Okay. Question. So from our last discussion with, I believe Gina was present and also David Gruppen was there.
Yeah.
That there was a general consensus to ask if the applicants could indicate the school or establishment where they got their training. And in our minutes, it says that it would be considered, so Who
I can
added
follow,
the consideration?
I'll follow up with Gina to see where that's at. Gina
Okay,
and Dave, yeah.
okay. So David was with PSI or?
No,
with-
David works, he's the exam branch
Right,
chief, exam branch supervisor, yeah, so
for
he's,
Hawaii, okay,
yeah.
okay. All right,
PSI is our exam provider, that's our vendor, yeah.
correct. I just wanted to double check, but that's
Mhm.
what I had in my notes to follow up on. So if we
Mhm.
could check on that. Okay. And then we're going to discuss our next meeting date. Do we have a proposed one? So at least we can get
Oh,
it.
I just see, sorry, I see new business, for choosing, I know that the session is beginning next week, next Wednesday.
Yes,
So I just need, in case there's any bills relating to massage therapy, if there's one or two massage therapists on the board with whom I can reach out to in case I have questions when submitting testimony.
fine. Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at, never mind. We can put that later.
I
So
don't. But
legislative delegation, I can be. I do have an alert on my in my records if anything comes up regarding massage. So I can volunteer to be one of them.
I can volunteer to be one of them too, if I'm available.
Okay, that means you can either submit written written or in person, right? But
It means a lot, so I'm not sure if our new board members are familiar with the legislative session, but it's gonna begin very short, I believe it's next Wednesday. And whenever bills are introduced, it's very, like, I need a response immediately because the turnaround time for the department for DCCA to submit testimony is like within 24 hours. So as soon as a bill is scheduled, I get a notification. Sometimes I'm able to write the testimony based on the board's, I guess, past testimony submitted, but if it's something new or if I have a question that needs clarification, I need to be able to reach out to one of the board members. Because there's many times the bills are introduced in between board meetings, so I'm not able to schedule board meetings just to discuss one bill. So yeah, that's what I'm asking right now is just, we can have up to two massage therapists with whom I can ask in case a bill is scheduled for hearing.
Okay, I'm more than happy to do that. If you let me know the window, I will be available to you. Is
I
this
will have to, it's like, I'm gonna call you, I'm gonna email you,
okay? Good.
it's gonna be like,
Yeah, Reese, can you do me a favor? If it is something that I may have missed, can you text me? Because I don't answer my phone calls till the
Yeah.
end of the day.
yeah,
so-
that's the kind of,
Okay.
yeah, it's like an on-call kind of thing where it's like, it may be like say I'll get an email at 10 o'clock and then they're telling me, okay, submit something on behalf
By
of the board
tomorrow
by
at
11:30. And that
or-
has to be like, yeah, so it's, I appreciate Olivia and Darcy being able to do that.
Do you,
Um,
sorry to interrupt, this is Sean. Do you want to maybe make a running wait list if it's urgent for you that you can? I'm happy to offer my services. I'm so new. I don't know if I'm able
Yeah.
to, but
I appreciate that, Sean. I just need, it just has to be less than quorum. So that's why I'm only able to consult up to two.
I see.
Yeah, so if it's up to you, I mean, is it okay if I just,
You can stick
For
with what
now.
you've got. You have two people now, so that's great.
yeah, but so we'll do that for this year. I'm not even sure if there's gonna be any massage bills, but just in case.
I haven't seen, there have been some things under the health, area, but it doesn't pertain to massage. I saw two already, so.
Okay, so I guess we can just make a quick motion.
Okay.
Um,
So,
just,
I move to appoint myself and Darcy as the two consults for the 2024 legislative session. Can I get a second?
I'll
I'll
second
second
that. This is Shannon. Oh, I didn't know if Darcy
No,
could
that's
second
fine.
herself.
Thanks. Thank you, Shannon. All in favor,
Gotcha.
say yes. The Shannon?
Yes.
Okay, Jace,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
and Sean.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Alrighty. Ongoing business. So, I know Jace has to leave. Jace, are you leaving? I'm not pushing you out.
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. Thank you for your time, Jace, and we'll see you at the next
Thanks
meeting.
all.
Okay, take care.
Stairs.
Thank you, Jace. Aloha.
Aloha.
So the Hawaii Administrative Rules has been on our agenda for a while. I really would like to move through this, and the legislative session is starting next week, Monday. I don't think we'll get it done before then because it goes through a process, but I would like to try again to complete review of this by at least, I think we needed to look at it and review by August, September. Risa, you can, wait, this is rules, so it doesn't need to go to the ledge, right?
Correct.
Okay,
It's just
So-
rules. It's just an ongoing process.
Correct.
So, and we already
So-
have one draft going through that includes the sanitation requirements for the MAEs and then also the
continuous
CE
education.
rules as well. So that's
Okay.
our draft that's going through. And the draft you should have is the one that's
The
the most
latest.
current one that you can work off of if you have any additional changes. Cause I know like last meeting, it was mentioned to add some exam misconduct rule
Mhm.
verbiage. Yeah, anything else like that that the board wants to discuss.
Okay, so at this point, I know I have asked for additional meetings as well, because even though we have meetings scheduled, we have to review what's presented, and a lot of times it's applications. And that takes a lot of time. And by the time, we get to our ongoing business of updating our rules, it's minimal at best. So, what I wanted to kind of throw out there, for board members to take a look at before our next meeting, is we had been talking about increasing the education hour requirements for licensing. And previous boards actually had, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Reese, agreed or approved to increase the hours to 625. And we did look at how to distribute the extra hours, because right now we require 570. Okay, with 625, we actually need 55 more hours, or it's 55 hours that we're looking to distribute in the sub chapters. Basically, if you look at 1684.20, where is it? I keep forgetting the number. One moment.
What's the title? Hours.
I think 23, excuse me?
23 is requirements for apprentice.
1684.23. So, here's some thoughts that I've had, because I've also heard it from other people in our industry, not necessarily licensed massage therapists, but school owners. Okay, we do outline specifically the content of our education hours for apprentices. And under students, we have a generalized description. And myself, and for myself, I've always gone back to the education hour requirements for apprentices and apply it to students in a massage therapy school. But I've talked to and heard from a couple of school owners that no, it's not in the law. We don't have to follow the education requirements. And I said, well, you know, that's how the board is going to review applications based on the hours that are broken down in our rules. So one thing is I wanted to make sure that we add in under, you know, the students, which is 1684.48, I believe, for education requirements for students, that we add that. Is that too redundant, Rise?
What do you mean redundant?
So I'm thinking under 1684.48,
Yeah.
under what is this? H3,
Yeah.
where it reads not less than 420 hours of practical massage training under the supervision of a
Right.
teacher, blah, 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 and add the course study with a minimum of 420 hours is as follows, which is the verbiage from 1684.23J as in Joker.
80. What was that last section? J? I don't see it.
1684.23J. 1684.23. Hold on, let me make sure.
84.23.
You're right.
Oh. 848.
J.
Are
So
you
I
looking-
want, I want,
I mean, yeah.
well, if there's a couple of school owners out there saying they don't have to follow that, I want to make sure that it's understood.
I mean, it's up to the board if they wanna, because I guess massage schools and apprenticeships are set up kind of differently, right? A lot of
Correct.
times
The
schools
content
have
should be
more
different.
like modalities, like advanced kind of modalities.
The content should be similar, should be, because we're requiring,
Mhm.
and if I've heard this from someone in an apprenticeship, that's actually discrimination where you're saying apprentices need to do this, but the students in a massage therapy school have more leeway.
I don't know if they have more, I don't think they have more leeway. It's just that it says under the apprenticeship, it says for J, yeah, it's just that theirs is a little more broken down, I think.
Yeah.
Right, it's saying that they have to have,
110 hours of office procedures, which includes clinical operations.
it's just harder for massage schools, because I mean, they're coming from mainland schools too, and all of those programs are so different.
Yeah,
So
I
we
think,
kind of want to make, I think if you guys are gonna do role revisions, it should be something like broad enough, but
Okay.
like, otherwise, if you're gonna be reviewing all these applications, I'm not sure like every school is gonna have this exact wording, especially from them, if they're coming from the mainland.
no, they won't have the same.
So, I mean, it's just
exact
something to think
verbiage.
about.
Yeah,
right,
they won't
for the
have the
next-
exact same verbiage, but we can, you know, title it separately, because right now, NCBTMB, which is the national certifying body that we ascribe to, okay, as schools or training centers or whatever, they require 125 hours of anatomy, physiology, kinesiology. They require 200 hours of theory, which includes hands-on practice, 40 hours of pathology, and 125 hours in topics related to massage therapy. And lastly, 10 hours of business and ethics. So we can we can make general titles, I guess.
Like,
Do you want-
yeah, I guess general enough categories.
Yeah.
Not super specific, but enough
No.
that the
No,
transcript, like it's easy when you look at a transcript to be like, okay, they need this. Yeah.
correct. Yeah, but I do want to add that under 1684-48. So that's one of the things I wanted the board members to take a look at.
You
Our
want
state-
to add what? Under 1684?
So 1684, as it currently reads, okay, under, what is this? H3C, and I think the numbers are wrong, but 1684-48-3. It reads, not less than 420 hours of practical massage training under the supervision of a teacher in a school setting. And I want to add something to the effect. The course study with a minimum of 420 hours is as follows. And we can break it down to anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, X number of hours. Theory and demonstration, which we use as a subheading, whatever, X number of hours. Pathology, X number of hours. Subject matter related to MT, X number of hours. And then business and ethics, X number of hours. So we don't have to follow the same verbiage as 1684-23J.
So let's see. I also just want to make sure that our newbies are following. Are you guys following? We're talking about the massage therapy 84, rules.
Yes, I have that pulled up in front of me. Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Um,
I remember from the last meeting that this was kind of the goal was to support more students passing the exam. And I think allotting those hours in a specific area is smart because they could just add on more hands-on hours and that's not going to help them pass their exam.
Mm-hmm. So just to bring Sean up to date, when we reviewed the summary of exams administered by PSI, they started in January of this year, last year, sorry, January 1 of 2023. We only had results from August through October at our last meeting. And Gina from PSI, when she came to talk to us, I wanted to find out where the failures were on the exam, because our passing rates were like 34%, 24%. Oh wait, sorry, that's not the percentage. That's the number of people. Passing rates were 32%, 18%, 27% respectively from August to October. And I asked her if she was able to determine what area or subject matter had the lowest pass rate. Anatomy, physiology, kinesiology had was that a pass rate that she gave us? 64%? So 36% was failing. Laws and rules, 66% was failing. So that's 34%. That's more than 1/3 of the exam is basically what I was looking at. And that I think we need to either beef up our anatomy hours or something. And that's something that we had discussed in previous boards years ago. And we just have not been able to finish review of the revision of the administrative rules. So at this
Is
point,
this the same exam that pardon me for interrupting. Would this be the same exam I would have taken in 2002 when I took my licensing exam?
no.
Okay,
So
that's good.
January 1 of 2023, we had a new proctor who used several books, one of them which was not with the testing that I took back in 1995, is a book that they added, which is fine. It just defines massage theory practice more with, I believe it was Susan Salvo's book that they added, which is fine, where they would use as references to create questions for our exams. So as far as the subject matter on the test exams, and I remember she said they had like over 350 questions in their question bank, where I know that Prometric in the past had over 1,000 questions in their question bank, although I would say a good 10% were ridiculous. And we had asked them to remove the ridiculous questions. So at this point, my thought.
So do we have access to the content of these? Like, do we actually get to see what these questions are ourselves?
No, so you wouldn't see the exact questions, but the resources are listed on the candidate bulletin that the
PSI.
the applicants receive, like when they receive their exam approval, they also have, and it's also, I believe the candidate bulletin is also available through PSI as well. Yeah.
Okay.
To build
So
off
that would
that,
list like the
if I could-
resources, but it doesn't, yeah, we don't know the exact questions. It's preserved the integrity of the test, the validity of the test as well.
If I let's see, I'm brand new, so if I could just make a quick
Mhm.
statement. I'm a surfer. I'm here to ride waves, not make waves. But I do have a personal agenda of raising the hours even past what you've stated. I think that we're miserably low in Hawaii, and I've worked around the country, and I think that we would serve our community much better by raising the hours and raising the standards. And I think it would also help us a lot in the fight against prostitution under the guise of massage. Because the lower the requirements, the easier it is for that to happen. And that's a big problem over here on this island. Now that I've been here for 7 years, I see. That's just how I feel. And I also want to say regarding the test, it's not the same test we took before, but I really think the old test we had, in my personal opinion, was pretty ridiculous also. And I say that because I felt like I was being tested to see if I could understand what they were asking me, not if I knew the material. I had attended Lynn's school and had we were overeducated for that test. And it was really hard for me still because I couldn't understand what they were asking. And it's just my personal opinion, but I felt, and then people had the answers and they were studying the answers. I saw all this was all going on, but I have no idea how they're running the test, the new one, but the test questions are important and how they ask them are important. And we shouldn't just assume because they're proctoring an exam that they're giving good questions. And maybe I'm the only one who feels this way, but I don't think we did a really great job with the tests we had initially. It was pretty different than like the national exam and some other higher requirement state exams that I've had experience with. I think we could improve all of it, but we need to have some kind of access to, agreement first, where we're going, and second, what is if we just let a third party do this and people are failing, as I think this is what you're alluding to, we want to know what's going on. But we do want to test it, I think, that serves in an effective way, like testing candidates. Have they learned this material? Not can they understand this tricky question that could go in a couple different ways and is vague, because there was a lot of that in the exam that I took in 2003, which was frankly kind of insulting and infuriating. Like, I just wanted to get my license and get to work. And I don't think that helps. I'm not trying to make it a personal mission, but I do think I do have these convictions to try to help our industry, is why I'm on the board. That's why I wanted to be on the board. Not to push my personal agenda, but I just want to let everybody know this is where I'm coming from. I'm totally in support of raising the hours And I think we should have scrutiny of the exams.
Sure.
That's all. Thank you.
So just to give you guys a little bit of background, there's about 45 states now that have a licensed law per se. Okay. Out of the 45, 22 states require only 500 hours. Oh, let me put it this way. 22 states require less than our required 570 hours. Okay, between 250 to 550. There's 22 states that require that much. We are at 570, which is an odd number, and I don't know how they figured that out, but whatever. It's 570. So that means out of the 45 states, there's 23 states that require more than 570 hours, and a lot of them are at 600 to 625. 625 was actually I don't know if it was a compromise number, but it was a number that was agreed upon by many states as a entry-level education hours required for this profession. Okay. And I've been on that discussion board many years before. I just haven't, not recently. So a couple of years ago, our current Hawaii Massage Board then agreed to increase our hours from 570 to 625. So at this point, I'm okay with 625 because I think it's a median number. So Sean, and I want to hear from everybody, what do you think we should increase the hours to? If we need to make a change, we need to figure out what that number is so then we can work on the details.
Sure. Sorry. Yes, and I did some of that same research, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I took a look. It's interesting because I think the landscape's changed. I was around the industry before I started 20 years ago, and in some cases, places have really dropped down, whereas they were, some of those states were at that 1,000 hours national exam licensing back in the 90s, and they dropped down. And my feelings about that are this. I would say that is absolutely the barest minimum for entry level, that number. And even though everybody else is at that number and we want to be sympathetic to people coming from somewhere else, let's, I don't think, play to the middle. You know, that's a medium, but there are states that are requiring over 1,000 hours. Like New York State, for example, a higher level requirement state has been there for a long time, and they function just fine. It's not, you know, they're not up in arms. They're not having to bring the hours down. Some of the other states like Florida, I think, is still up there too. But my point being, I'm looking at it more as us individually. I think we are a massage culture, perhaps more so than even any other state in theory. And for that reason, in the tradition of our culture too, certainly that was not a easy process to become a Lomi practitioner in the old days. I think it fits with the culture. I don't think it's too big of an ask. I mean, when I came into the industry, I was looking at getting a minimum of 1,000 hours. I think I get a lot of blowback from everybody. I'm sure I'd love to see 800 would be a number I'd like. But that's me. I realize you guys might not, maybe no one will agree with me, but and the reason is I think there's a lot of very good education in that, and we're helping our therapists to know more when they get started, because we can all learn more anyway, and we will. But getting them up to a certain level, especially understanding pathology better, I think will really serve not both the practitioner but their clients as well, and the industry. Are my reasons for saying that, and that is a number that I would sort of come down to, would be say I would love to see 800, but I will follow the will of the board.
Well,
Yeah, so
after the last meeting, I sent this to Rise to share with everyone. Okay, this is a listing of all the states updated with the number of hours required for licensing. It's just New York and Nebraska right now that require 1,000 hours, along with Puerto Rico. Okay, then you have states like New Hampshire with 750. But what I'm saying is because we're still above 50% of the states that require 500 hours or more. I'm also thinking not just the practitioners, but also the schools, for them to increase their curriculum 55 hours. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge for them. And I don't want to make it difficult for everyone involved, but I do want to take it higher than what we require right now, and somewhere in between, you know, the 500 to, you know, I would say Nebraska and New York are, how should I say? I mean, they're the exceptions, I think, in a sense, and they do have higher standards, but somewhere between 500 and 750. And that's where we thought 625 would be a challenge still for the schools and for the students. But what we need to do is, and as a directive from the legislature a long time ago, which I know it still stands, that I'm not saying we need to make it easy for someone to get licensed in this state, but we have to provide a foundation from a layman perspective. For those of us that have been practicing for a while, I've been practicing almost 30 years. I get that. I would like them to be at my level, but we can't do that.
Right.
So I hear what you're saying, Sean. And I believe increasing our education requirements is the way to go. We just need to agree to a number, and then we need to make sure that it's assimilated into our laws. I mean, our rules.
If I may add one more thing,
I-
not to dominate the meeting.
And I had something to say too. Am
Sure.
am I on mute? No, okay, I had
No, you're-
something to say too. So, in response to, both, I agree. Education is very important, you know, even as we saw today, as we see all the time. And I think we need to read the room. And what I mean is, people are struggling financially to recover from both the COVID and, you know, everything is more expensive now. And I don't know, if you've talked to your massage school owner, colleagues, but I have, talked to my colleagues just here on Kauai, this little microcosm. And what's happening is, one school, has been teetering, the two schools have been teetering on going out of business because of attendees are lower. You know, people aren't able to lay out as much money now, even if there's payment program. And the harder we make it, the less businesses, you know, I own a day spa on Kauai and I'm struggling. People left the island because of cost of living. They left the profession because they don't want to touch anybody anymore. So I'm saying both, and I agree. I came from Florida where we had 720 hours. So I came in with those, and I've been licensed for 31 or 2 years now. And so I think it might be both, and to, you know, make a huge leap is going to be a hardship on a lot of people, including businesses and as well as schools, because we have to think about the trickle down effect. They have to pay their people, and already they're struggling. They're struggling. So, it's just in attendance has been down, even though I think with the advent, well, not the advent, but the increase in uptick in AI, a lot of jobs are becoming obsolete, and ours will never become obsolete, which I'm proud to say, right? Because we touch people, and people need that human connection more, you know, than ever before, especially, you know, nowadays. So those are some of my thoughts. I wouldn't support a huge leap. I would support maybe smaller incremental growing towards. And I think that's healthy in a system. You know, even when we're trying to, you know, do anything, we move towards our goal and we have to start somewhere rather than, oh, let's, you know, increase it by 300 hours now. So I would support smaller increments in increasing the hours. And we have feedback from the system, you know, people aren't strong in anatomy physiology, you know, and if we do increase the hours, let's put them where they belong, you know, what we've seen with the feedback we have. That's my input. for
So
what
what number are you looking at?
I'd like to really sit with it, you know, for a little bit longer, given everything, you know, that we've said. And I'd also like to talk to some people who, you know, run the schools and to see, you know, again, that trickle down effect. They're going to have to increase their prices because 55 more hours, they have to pay somebody. That, you know, has to be translated down.
Sure.
So,
And
I mean,
that's why I'm putting it on the table, because
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
like board members to think about this and come up with what your thoughts are based on your research or whatever at the next meeting. So that's why I brought this up,
okay,
because I have been working with different board member groups since 2016 on this rules, and I am dying here because it's
Oh.
not moving a foot, it's moving a centimeter each year.
I hear your frustration, Olivia.
I don't, I don't want to drag this out by talking a lot, especially my first meeting, and I didn't expect to talk about this today. But I would like to comment on your comment, Darcy, and I'm really glad you brought that up. You reminded me of something I forgot to say, which is the next step. It's going to cost people more money. So how would we make this work? And I think we could take a playbook from, for example, Governor Green is offering amnesty on student loans for people going in healthcare right now because we're short physical therapists, we're short nurses. And in order to get people to go to, we have programs here now. We just started PT in Hawaii in the last 3 years after never having it, is to get people to stay and work here. And, you know, I get that a lot of the rest of the world doesn't see us in the same box as the people I'm talking about, but we are really part of that same industry in some ways. And we need support for the culture and the industry as well. So what I'm saying is offer financial aid avenues for people, because otherwise there's no way people can afford this. You're right. They already can't afford the small amount of hours we have now. And this was going on here in the past when I was in school. If you had a DOE certified school, you could get Fannie Mae loans back then. And I actually took advantage of that to take to go past a year of training. There are possibilities, I think, and maybe it's too much, maybe it's a lot, I don't know, but I wouldn't want to ignore that aspect of saying, hey, I think we should raise the hours. Well, how's everybody going to manage that? I'm fully in agreement with you. I think we need to pave the whole road. Like, we need to help people who want to be in the industry have access to education that's really good, and we also need to have them currently have access to funds, because you're right, nobody has money right now. I totally agree. That was all.
Yeah, I think the financing part, Sean, that responsibility rests with the school. It's not something that we can control or anything. So I
But we can
hear
help the climate, you know.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but for our role and responsibility, we need to look at, okay, how can we get a better massage therapist? And that's why we thought 625, 55 hours is better than increasing it to 700 hours. Let me put it that way, because that was some of the thoughts as well.
Yes, and with the schools that we have that I work with on Oahu, typically I'm seeing about 600 hours in their program and then continued education. After that, most of the schools, the bigger schools at least, do have continued education programs. So I think they have those resources to reach that 625. currently. And I think a lot of students might already be close to it if they're doing a 600 program already.
Mhm.
Right now, the biggest is supporting the schools, and I got to share the bulletin with a lot of the schools that I work with, just ensuring that they understand that new bulletin from PSI and kind of just being up to date. Think they were kind of stuck in their old way, didn't make a lot of changes, or understanding the new testing. And once I sent that to the schools that I worked with, they're kind of like, oh, I'm going to take a look at that and look at what we're doing and make sure this aligns. And that's kind of where I was focused at between last meeting and this meeting, was just making sure the schools had the bulletins and could make any adjustments, or just kind of awareness of it as well. The bulletin on the website is a little challenging to access. You have to click into PSI, search for massage testing, and then kind of filter through a couple different links. Is there a way we could get that? Would it make sense to put that on the board website, just right there? Here's the bulletin for testing, like breakdown and information. They can just auto click it.
I think we talked
I
about.
did ask about that, and then the response I got was they were hesitant to put like the direct link on for the PDF, because if any time PSI was to change the bulletin without notifying us, then it would cause some confusion. So we
Sure.
wanted to direct it, have it direct to PSI. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I can I'll ask our exam branch manager if there's like some, I guess, way to like a kind of like a step by step kind of thing. Oh, here's what you have to do to access the candidate bulletin. Because I agree that it is like kind of not that
varied.
user friendly. Yeah, I was like, wait, how do I get to it? So then
It
I
took
just
me a
like,
minute.
okay, I could click, and then it's like this tiny little icon. So I agree. Maybe I'll ask if we can like have a little, I guess, step by step how to find the candidate bulletin on
Okay.
PSI's website.
How
Yeah.
about adding this on the application?
Because even we do have the PSI website on our application already, but it's
Yeah.
still, I think,
Tough, because
they
it's
still,
not.
yeah, it's up to the applicant to find the bulletin, even with our website.
Mhm.
Um,
And
but
it
yeah,
comes
I'll
with
just
their approval letter, though. It comes with their approval letter, so if they are taking the exam, they should be reading the letter and the notices
yeah.
that they receive.
Getting ahead before they even are close to taking that exam and seeing, the resource books and things like that nature on it. Because once they get that, they're pretty close to taking the test. If we can get it closer to once they are when they're in school and in that program, and the schools are facilitating, fostering their learning surrounding those.
Yeah, if there's a way for the schools to know about the candidate bulletin.
We didn't
But would
really
it be,
we didn't
would-
really talk about this, but the fail rate, am I reading this correctly?
For
So we have
December, yeah.
a fail rate of 36% before, and now it's 62%?
no, you're wrong.
Okay,
The fail rate,
it says total fail 62% under December.
for
That's how I read
December.
it too.
Oh, yeah,
Total pass,
rate.
it's inverse now.
Yeah.
It's increased. The fail rate has almost doubled, if I'm reading this correctly.
For our most current month of December.
It's been hovering between 53 and 54 in August, September, and October.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the number of applicants
true,
too.
yeah. I had
That
a
affects the percentage.
I had a 64% pass rate, 36% fail rate at our last meeting. 36.
The average. That was the average.
That was the average, okay. But this looks like it's double to me.
No. Okay. So, what the percentages you're quoting, Darcy, was the fail rate in anatomy, physiology, kinesiology
Okay,
was 36%.
I see that
Fail
caveat.
rate in laws and rules was 34%.
Okay, so we have the drill down, breakdown of all of that. That's what, okay, I understand.
Because I saw the fail rate when
Okay.
they gave this to us. That's why I was curious to find out what subject matter are they failing in? And that was my question.
Yeah.
Sorry, board members, just a heads up. Chris has to actually leave pretty soon, so I was wondering if we can wrap up the discussion.
Right. So here's what I would like to ask the board to look at. Okay. It's sitting at 625 hours since it was approved by a previous board. Question 1, do we need to change that? And if we do, what do we change it to? And number 3, I suggest putting the extra hours in anatomy. But where would you put it?
Can we all have that breakdown
For?
of, pass fail rates per subject
It's attached to your packet.
today?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it. I
So
saw
today we
overall,
had November and December.
Yeah.
Previous meetings you had previous months. I just keep a running total. I have it in my file. I printed it up from the past meetings.
I see overall pass fail rates. I don't see per subject.
No,
I don't
she
know if they
didn't.
break it down per
don't.
subject. This is the only ones that they send us.
I
Okay.
think when Gina came, she came at our November meeting.
Right, I remember.
And so I asked for
She just
information.
mentioned that anatomy was the area that most applicants had difficulty on.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I asked her in her experience, since we started with them in January, what was the subject matter that people failed in the most? And that was the answer that we got. So that's my notes. So with that in mind, I do feel that we are lacking in APK knowledge in our population. So where else, what did I say? So number of hours. Sheesh, what was the second thing I said?
Anatomy, physiology, that's what you're
Yeah.
proposing.
That was number 3.
Oh, what do we change it to?
Oh, yeah.
Um,
So right now we're at
Subject.
625 hours because that's what was approved with previous boards. If we do not keep to 625, question 2 was, what should it be? Question number 3 was, how do we allocate the additional hours? So that's something I want everybody to look at for our next meeting. And then Reese, if you could send this out to everybody again.
thank you.
Okay. Yeah,
If you
Thank
need me to
you.
resend it, I can resend it.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, I'll look for my
I'll try to look
email.
for it in my email, but if I can't find it, I'll ask you.
Yeah, I'll just send it to you because I was looking at it this morning when I was reviewing some other things. Okay, and then, we do, as far as addressing misconduct on exams, is that something that you can pull from another board, Reese, or is that something we need to work on?
No, there's existing examples from other boards. I think I mentioned at the last meeting. So that's a good starting place. We can gather those.
Okay, yeah, I'll look for them.
Yeah, I have some of them.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Trish, you have it?
I have, I mean, not in front of me, but
Right.
yeah,
No, that's
there are examples from other boards.
Okay, that's fine. And then adding the generalized subject matter topic under the students in 1684-48, adding in the general topic or subject matter titles. And I left it blank because depending on the number of hours we decide, then we can fill in the blanks. But definitely anatomy, physiology, kinesiology. So we can show this breakdown and add it into the verbiage. Theory and demonstration, pathology. I don't know what we want to call subject matter related to massage therapy, but if we come up with better verbiage, I'm okay with that. And then business / excuse me, ethics. Okay, that said, so that's our assignment for our next meeting. And I know that the initial 2024 schedule you sent out, we say the next was March 5th. Is that okay with everybody?
What day does that fall on?
It's a Tuesday. All these meeting dates that were on the original 2024 proposed calendar is Tuesday.
I can meet March 5th.
I'm available.
Okay. Sean, are you okay?
Yeah, Tuesdays aren't my best day, but I can make it work. If it seems like those are the days. Are the meetings always falling on Tuesdays? Is that how it works?
We looked at availability of the meeting room that Rise and Chris sits in, their staffing. And so that's how it kind of worked out.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Is
I
it-
don't want to be the lone dissenter. I can make my schedule fit around the meeting. I'll figure it out.
Okay, and you are free to join via Zoom if you're unable to make it in person. But one of the key things is right now we have 5 board members. Quorum is 3. We need to have 3 to conduct business. Without a quorum, we need to reschedule our meetings. So at this point, March 5th then is our next meeting date at 9 o'clock, Rise?
Yeah, should be, I'll have Juliet just reconfirm with everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other thoughts, comments, questions before we adjourn?
Yeah, you guys can email me with any questions you have.
Okay,
I'm really sorry I got to rush